the partner in crime and one of the most entitled,
I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
toxic,
I'm a narcissist.
man-hating,
She's not gonna be safe with a prince.
nasty, the last part, her words, who single-handedly actually annoyed everyone so bad they skipped this mess. Well played.
Hijacked. Not by a revolver pressed to the temple, but by a silent after-hours email nobody was meant to read. Not officially, but you can judge in about 5 minutes, when the red-lined Slack thread pops on screen and the director's own exhausted texts prove just how hard the screws were turned.
Rachel Zegler is the prime example of how you should never think that you're bigger than the project.
Within the first hour of the leak, West End group chats lit up like a championship stadium after a last-second equalizer. Seasoned ushers compared refund alerts the way fantasy football managers swap trade tips, each ping in the app sounding more frantic than the last.
Rachel, what's it like to be in a movie with Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu?
It's great. Okay? It's great. I'm honored. I don't know why I sound so angry right now. I'm honored. Am I a psychopath? No, I've been getting a lot of questions about how do I feel? I feel amazing. We start kind of soon and I'm just like...
40 minutes in, Ticketmaster's checkout page lagged so badly fans joked it had the same stage fright they were suddenly sure Rachel Zegler did. But first, rewind to the moment everything was locked with a handshake that felt more like a chokehold. 8 weeks ago, inside a glass conference room over the Strand, board members for Blue Spotlight Limited huddled around a mahogany table littered with coffee cups and investor printouts. Item 1 was simple: lock the lead for Evita, guarantee an online buzz, watch presales soar.
Why is she starring in the West End version of Evita? I don't understand it. Is what I would say if I had no taste. Rachel Zegler, oh my god. When are you guys gonna see how much of a powerhouse she is? I love Rachel Zegler so much. I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be sat front and center to see this icon slay Evita. Oh my god, I can't wait. I am gonna see it when it first opens. I already know that. I can't wait to see this diva. Oh my god!
A producer in a navy blazer waved a packet labeled Social Reach Metrics. Page 1, Rachel Zegler's follower count and a bright green arrow racing skyward. Page 2, projected ticket lifts color-coded in optimistic lime. Page 3, a sticky note scribbled hurry or another show will grab her. Everyone nodded like gamblers spotting an underdog with absurd odds and dollar signs for eyes, except the director, Lloyd, who tapped the packet once, leaned back, and said nothing. By dawn after that meeting, the hush money of hype had already been wired, teaser posters printed, ad buys locked, fan accounts primed.
I can't believe it. I very much had no interest in seeing Rachel Zegler in any movies heading into this. And watching this made me forget that I really don't like her as an actress.
Jamie's private diary, later subpoenaed for a separate union dispute, records 7 terse words. Optics steamrollered instinct. Casting coup or nightmare. 48 hours later, a 12-page NDA hit his mailbox, already co-signed by every stakeholder except him. He signed anyway. Pressure cookers rarely grant room for debate.
Like, I'm the first to admit when I saw her interviews, I hated her. I was like, ew, how snide. Ugh, how condescending. And then I was like, well, wait, she's acting it up. They told her to do that. You can't tell me this young woman was cast in such an iconic role and went, thanks, I hate it. No, let's use our brains. We have been pushing girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, strong women, strong, strong, strong. We've been pushing that for so long. They tell her to give us that, and we shit on her. I don't know. I just feel like that's so goddamn mean.
Not a rumor, not a memo, just a sickly quiet ripple the morning rehearsals began. 3 beats struck in brutal succession. Understudies discovered their rehearsal schedules had been slashed. Dance captain noticed fresh marks taped downstage center-sized exactly for one performer. And the costuming team received an urgent directive to trim 4 centimeters off the signature balcony gown. Apparently, Rachel preferred a sleeker silhouette. Silence after that 3rd beat said more than any memo ever could.
They said casting Rachel Zegler as Eva Peron would bring fresh energy to the role. Well, they weren't wrong. The show now runs 3 times a week, ticket sales are collapsing, and fans have started a petition to free Evita from Evita. Revolutionary indeed.
When did theater turn into a measurable marketing funnel? When a lead is chosen for their algorithm rather than their alto, Does the orchestra even matter? Rehearsal day 3 answered loudly. A backstage witness whispers that Jamie called for a break mid-run-through after an energy mismatch. Insiders call that phrase code for the lead and ensemble moving at entirely different tempos, like a quarterback running one play while the rest of the line holds a different playbook.
Anyway, she said all this, and guess what? People noticed. We did it right here on the show. What did I say? There's no way that they should be employing this woman and putting her out there when this is the kind of nonsense she is spouting.
The solution floated by a well-paid PR strategist was brutally simple: gain alignment through narrative. Translation: sell the story so hard nobody dares question the performance. Stick a pin there and skip ahead again. Week 4, 7 days before previews, refund requests have spiked past £10,000. Shareholders feel the floor tilt beneath their loafers. A lawyer mutters fiduciary disaster. Fans on Reddit compile a timeline of every rehearsal hiccup, each post titled like a crime scene log. Pressure builds, the kind that makes even seasoned men triple-check their collars for sweat stains. But first, rewind further to the midnight call Jamie received from casting.
Why she hasn't been fired yet is above my comprehension, because you invested in the wrong person.
A junior producer, voice shaking like a rookie pitcher facing bases loaded, told him the board had already sealed the contract. Attached under duress, though he didn't use that word, the only blank lines were the ones where creative consent should live. Jamie's response came out in a sigh. So, we have no choice. Moments later, his text to the stage manager: get ready for theater warfare. Fast forward to the first invited run. At curtain minus 90 minutes, Rachel is reportedly pacing in the wings, earbuds in, mouthing lines, eyes fixed. Cast whispers claim she requested a private warm-up space, unnerving the ensemble who usually handle jitters together. Was that diva behavior or just survival mode? 30 minutes later, Jamie allegedly rips up the cue sheet, slaps a new one on the wall, and says only, "We pivot." No profanity, just a voice like steel meeting concrete.
Conservatives are calling for the cancellation of Rachel Zegler after she had some very choice words for Trump and his voters. There were several different posts, but what is really getting under people's skin is when she said, "May Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace." Megyn Kelly even called Rachel a pig. The most shocking part about all of this was that I realized that I actually wasn't following Rachel, so I made sure to do so immediately after seeing that.
By the time house lights dim, phones glow across the stalls. A critic tweets, hearing rumblings the director wanted anyone except Zegler. A defender fires back, "She's fresh blood, let art evolve." An insider simply posts a popcorn emoji. Halfway through Act 1, the whisper runs, Jamie is watching from the back, arms folded as tightly as a defensive line guarding 4th and inches. At intermission, a WhatsApp screen will circulate showing a senior producer typing, then deleting, then typing again. "We had no choice. Board voted. 5-0. Silence. Deadlier than any review. Dawn breaks to headlines sharper than orchestra stings. Legal team files 3 DMCA strikes against a bootlegged rehearsal clip. Panic in the fanbase ignites like gasoline. Critics publish first night reactions. Before coffee finishes dripping, 2 scathing, 1 merely lukewarm. A 3rd review is missing entirely, parked behind an embargo that smells suspiciously like hush money. Ticket refunds jump another 200 seats before noon. Commentary subreddits tally lost revenue like bookmakers after a blown lead. 7 days out, backstage feels like locker room mutiny. Lighting cues freeze, line notes pile up, ensemble eyes the alternate with a mix of sympathy and readiness.
Rachel Zegler is at it again.
I really do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy.
I have learned the hard way that we have to be fearless and loud in order to be heard, and to prepare for the backlash that occasionally comes with that outspokenness.
The reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable beings.
I think people will just do anything to not acknowledge that respect is earned and not just given to you in life.
Nights she sneaks a full run in after Rachel leaves, just in case. 1 week later, the merch booth quietly swaps the lead's headshot for an abstract silhouette under gilded text Evita. Casual tourists don't notice, but superfans blow up Twitter. Where's Rachel's face? Blue Spotlight responds with a single sentence. Design refresh in progress. The dodge fools nobody. If optics are the game, what happens when the scoreboard malfunctions? By now, Jamie's diary shows only timestamps and fragments. Monday, pressure cooker. Wednesday, boardroom. Friday, hush. He is losing sleep the way a gambler loses chips, one steady rake at a time. Are we watching a simple case of creative clash? Or is this the theater version of match fixing, where the roster is set by suits with spreadsheets instead of scouts with stopwatches? Three voices meet again at Flashpoint. An industry podcast leaks a clip. Insider, contract landed after midnight, blank except her name. Critic, stunt casting at its worst. Defender, YouTube numbers don't lie, tickets need traction. Not a rumor, not a memo, just silence smothering rehearsal hall chatter. 48 hours post-preview, the agents whisper breach of fiduciary duty. Shareholders demand a closed door. Huddle that runs longer than an extra innings thriller. Jamie exits that meeting pallid, eyes unfocused, mumbling, "We were forced." A stagehand hears it, records it, sends it to a friend who sends it to a blogger who sends it, inevitably, to us. Another heartbeat hook strikes. 10 seconds of audio. Jamie's voice, ragged, repeating, "I never had a choice." No context, but context writes itself when the internet wants blood. Cue the scoreboard graphic our editor loves. Box office projections laid out like betting odds, before and after Zegler. Line plunges faster than a short-sold stock. Male viewers lean in. They know a bad beat when they see one. Then the poker bluff. Producers announce additional VIP packages, priced higher than ever, hoping whales will bite. Instead, a comment on Facebook sums it up. You don't double down after fumbling the snap. By the third week of performances, the theater warfare spills past the proscenium arch. One evening, a group of fans arrives in jerseys bearing the alternates' initials, chanting like away game supporters begging for the backup quarterback. Security politely ushers them inside. The house manager privately orders an extra watch on row G. Another night, someone in the balcony holds up a sign reading, "Let Eva be great." The usher confiscates it, but the photo is already viral. Time. Marker again. Curtain minus 10 minutes on a rainy Thursday. Jamie stands center stage addressing the cast. According to a leaked minute-by-minute log, his pep talk lasts exactly 90 seconds and ends with, "Play the truth, not the headline." In the wings, Rachel pulls her microphone pack tighter. Does she hear him? Does it matter? The orchestra strikes up and the show barrels forward.